Hello, everyone. Welcome to HyCast, the world's #1 Hytale podcast. My name is Fire, and today we're joined by the owners of Hyrizon, Fezzy the Frog, and Scarecrow.
Hey.
Hyrizon, welcome to the show.
How's it
Hi.
going? Thanks for having us.
Yep, of course. Go ahead and introduce yourselves now.
Okay, you can go first, Anthony.
Why me?
Okay, I'll go first, I guess. I'm Fezzy the Frog. I'm the co-owner of Hyrizon.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Tell them what you do.
I mainly work on the content side of Hyrizon for now, as well as like direction with some of the elements of our server, but mostly content right now.
That's awesome. Alright.
I'm Scarecrow. I'm the co-owner of Hyrizon. I'm essentially the lead developer. I've been programming for 10 years, and I plan to do all the server-side stuff.
Great. Tell us a bit about what you guys do on YouTube on the Hyrizon channel.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely kind of a variation of things. Mostly right now, we're doing things like Hytale news. We're doing coverage of news coming out about the game and speculations and theories and things like that that seem to really catch on with the audience. But recently we got notice with the recent blog post that they won't be releasing blog posts as often. So that's kind of up for change, but typically, like, up to this point, we've been doing a lot of theorizing and things like that. And occasionally we throw like a cinematic out there or something.
Yeah, right. Okay. Now, not only is Hyrizon a YouTube community, but you're also starting up a Hytale server. What will the server offer?
The server will offer a bunch of things, and I don't know if we've actually put this publicly yet, but I mean, we might as well now. It's going to have like an MMO in it, which we won't give away too much about, but that's going to be one of the biggest things with the server is that it'll be like a whole new experience you can have within the game. That as well as like a competitive scene in the game. We intend on making a very competitive based environment off of mini games that we've already come up with that are original to Hytale instead of something we've seen on Minecraft before. I mean, of course, we'll probably have some of the same game modes as there has been on Minecraft in the past, but we will introduce many newer ones that are completely original.
Will you be able to share any of the original ones?
I can give a name, but not exactly like the game mode itself. One of them is going to be called Barricade, and it should be a really good time. That's going to be one of our featured ones. We're going to have like built-in elo systems and rankings, as well as tournaments. And if the server does grow large enough, we intend on having tournaments for money, if that's allowed, if that's something we're allowed to do with our server. So yeah, it's something to be looking forward to for sure.
That sounds awesome. What do you hope the most successful part of the server will be?
Honestly, all of it, but the esports is going to be... Actually, yeah, I guess all of it is true. Like, I hold the MMO and esports on the same thing because they're almost like two different genres of game packed into a server. But something I think that has the most future potential is probably the esports half of it, like the competitive half, because that's where like there's a lot of competitive players in the Minecraft community now that Minecraft isn't seen as much of a competitive game. Like, it is in its community, but you don't hear about it really outside of it being called like a really competitive, like tournament based game or anything like that. Whereas I think we could change that with Hytale. I think Hytale could very much be like an esport if we push it hard enough.
So, are you able to tell us any more like details on the esports, like how it'll be organized, tournaments, all that? Okay,
so the way that'll work is we are going to have different rankings within it. It'll be kind of like almost a Counter-Strike situation with its rankings. We're going to have an elo system within the server that places you and matchmakes you against other players of your skill level, and we'll probably have a certain amount of placement matches so the system can figure out what rank you are and what skill group you're in, and then you will get matchmaked with people of that skill level. And you can work your way up the ranks, and higher ranks will be able to participate in tournaments that we will host with the community. And you can start teams within it. You can, party up. It's going to be a pretty streamlined experience when we get down to it. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I think we can do some interesting things with it.
That sounds really awesome. Are there any like really custom features to the server you plan to add besides esports?
Definitely the MMO, I think is going to be something crazy. I mean, one of the biggest things that I'm looking forward to being done is almost a single player experience with a multiplayer aspect. Like there's going to be clans and co-op and going through missions with friends. There's going to be like cinematics or cutscenes within the game. If we can figure that out, there will be cutscenes that we either have animated or film within the game, and then you watch with the game. It's going to be something that I've never seen in Minecraft, and something that might not be seen in Hytale because we have so many plans with it. I don't know. I think it's going to be pretty incredible if we can nail it down.
Mm-hmm. Once you get to the top level of the skill-based matchmaking, what else is there to do? Do you have anything planned on making it still fun? Like, there might not be a ton of players up there.
Yeah, something that we will be. That's something we have to still figure out because we still have to get.
Once you get to the top, it's essentially you're pro. You're
Yeah,
going
like,
to be playing in tournaments. You're going to be doing a lot of stuff.
Exactly. It's going to be mostly that's where you start getting into the esport half of the division, like building yourself up to a pro level. We'll probably host like skirmishes and things maybe on a weekly basis. We'll have to figure that out, but I don't know. It's something we still have to fully plan out, but right now we're still working out ranks and how many there's going to be, and how you'll be divided amongst them and things like that, and how
what also makes it unique is that we're going to have tournaments for each bracket. So let's just say, for example, there's bronze, silver, gold, everything like that, all the way up to like pro. Each bracket is going to have its own tournament. So if you're the best player in bronze, you still have a chance to be in a tournament and win something, whether it be cosmetic or money or whatever else.
Like the big league players go to the more big tournaments that will probably be broadcasted on the channel, but like there is definitely going to still be like smaller tournaments that happen within lower brackets where you have a chance to build up a kind of a competitive record for yourself if you aren't on the top of the top. So I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting. I've never seen a game do that before, so I want to I want to see how that goes.
Yeah. So you mentioned that besides having a Hytale server and a Hytale news channel and all that with Hyrizon, there's also going to be Hytale branch hosting. Could you tell us about that?
So branch hosting, this is something that I also haven't seen much of, or if I have seen, it's not quite to the extent that we're doing. And it's kind of a term, there might be a term for it, but this is just what we're calling it right now, where branch hosting is, say you are on our network, you can actually host a server off of our network. This is something more on Scarecrow's end, so I'm going to let him talk about all the technicality behind that.
All right. So essentially, we're going to have a bunch of dedicated servers that are reserved specifically for player hosting. And when you join the server, you can either open a GUI, type a command, or go through our web panel or your phone in order to start up your server. And then you can join it with friends. It is fully unlocked. You can do whatever you want on it. Obviously, if it becomes explicit or something that is not server friendly, we're not going to allow it. And that's when your server could like cross termination. But other than that, we're essentially allowing everybody to do whatever they decide on the server so that they can have a fun experience and play with their friends while also being on our network at the same time.
Right. That's awesome. It encourages people to play with friends and all that. So
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So on your YouTube channel trailer, you stated that you would have cinematics. Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a big thing for us, and that's mainly me because I did a lot of those with Minecraft, along with the cutscenes we're going to have within the game, as well as trailers for the various modes and things in our server once we actually release them. There's definitely going to be a very cinematic portion to what we do in the channel because I'm a filmmaker, so I really love camera movements and lighting and stuff, and I want to push that with Hytale because they are also having an emphasis on cinematics with, tools dedicated for doing it. So,
and not only that, we have to make trailers and stuff and cinematics for games and like esports, blah blah blah.
Yeah, so it's gonna be almost, if you want to compare it to something currently, Fortnite scene for like their trailers and stuff. Typically, people use the replay mode in. Except with Hytale, it's probably going to be way more fledged out and thought through.
Yeah.
So for things like game mode trailers, even just general cinematics, say there's like a new pack that gets, say if somehow shaders becomes a thing, we will make cinematics featuring those. And I don't know, the YouTube channel is kind of a free range when it comes to content from us. But right now it's been Hytale news. It definitely can change within the future.
I am kind of worried about shaders. They did say that you won't be able to mod the client, so I mean, I don't know about that.
I
If
think it
someone
already comes with shaders, to
it
be
has like
honest.
it has a
Yeah,
much better
right.
lighting system than Minecraft for sure, but I don't
True.
know. Someone might manage it one day.
Yeah.
I'll have to see.
Awesome. We're now going to have a short commercial break from our sponsor. And now we're back. So, now branching off of that, do you plan to make your cutscenes based on using the Hytale movie making tools, or
Yeah,
no? Yeah,
for
okay.
sure. Unless someone creates something that's somehow better. I mean, I don't know if that's even possible. I haven't seen the tools yet, but um, we're definitely going to utilize that a lot. And if it becomes an option on having things animated, if we have something that isn't possible to do in game, then we'll go with that route. If it's something like a cinematic trailer rather than like a gameplay trailer. Um, so, yeah, we're definitely going to be utilizing that system a lot, though.
Alright. In the Hytale release trailer, there are many exclusive features unique to the game. What are some of your favorite things that you hope to use in single player world or on your server?
Ooh.
Ooh, honestly, the in the single player aspect, the biggest thing that like one of the hugest things that I appreciate is plug and play, universal plug and play, where
Mhm.
we don't have to port forward to make a private server, and we
Mhm.
can just kind of hop in co-op. I don't know. That's something that really stuck out to me. That's like a massive quality of life improvement.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, sounds awesome.
That's going to be something to be determined. But that's something that stood out to me like instantly. With that was the fact that the matchmaking is actually something that
Ooh.
exists.
I think there's a few things that I like. So I like how you can just join a server and it'll automatically download everything that you need to play on that server,
Yeah,
which
that's
will
a big
be
one.
universal for everybody. So we can literally make whatever we want.
Yeah, like that. It's almost like a Gmod approach or a TF2 kind of
Yeah.
thing. Really cool. I totally actually spaced out about that. That's a really good point. Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I also enjoy the live scripting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So much. There's so much to enjoy.
Mhm. So, does your server plan to have custom 3D models for objects and all that?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, for
Mhm.
sure. In the earlier stages with the like competitive aspect, at first maybe not, because we want to build the game modes and we might want to release like a beta version of something and it might contain some in-game assets, but final versions of things will definitely be completely custom.
Roughly how much after the release of Hytale, roughly how much time do you estimate it'll take for the Horizon server to publish?
So we're gonna have different stages of release, because the MMO is going to take the most time, more than likely. So we're going to have probably like a beta for people, like a beta version of our server to test out bugs in matchmaking, rankings, and um, things like that, like technical stuff. And if it all
Right.
goes smoothly, then we'll release it to the public, and we will probably launch with a base set of mini games, both completely new and maybe a couple classics from Minecraft that people really want on the server. And then later on, as it gets updated and we add whether it be new items or new models and such things like that, we will start to probably roll out the second stage, which will be like a beta access for VIPs to the MMO. And then once that's fully fledged out, they get their progress in the MMO gets reset and it becomes fully available to everyone that wants to play it. Um, it's going to be more of like a part one, which is going to be the base server with games and the ranking system, and then a part two or a stage two with the MMO.
Right. Is there anything else you want to share? Because that is our last pre-written question.
Oh, I guess like something to look forward is that, or something to keep in mind is that we're not going to rush the server out necessarily. We
Right.
plan on making sure everything is very streamlined before it gets a totally public release, unless it's a beta. If it's a public beta for something, then of course bugs are to be expected. But
Hmm.
we want like our server, we want like a very much stamp of quality on top of, and I think it's going to be
Yeah.
a quite good as like because our channel up to this point, there's been a lot of work put into for the videos. A lot of people enjoy the quality of content, so we want to translate that to every project we work on. We want everything to be of a very high standard, even if it takes a little longer to put out, because we don't want to rush and be the first server to release. We want to very much be like, I mean, for example, like Hypixel, which is arguably like the best server,
Yeah, yeah.
wasn't the first. So we want to make
Definitely.
sure that we kind of follow within that path. Like we're going to take as much time as we need
Yeah, I
to make
feel a
sure
lot of
everything's
people
going
are
on.
kind of rushing to release their servers and not putting enough quality into it.
Oh, for
Yeah, I
sure.
think we're gonna
Yeah.
have an edge over people because everybody's just going for classic game modes, stuff
Hmm.
that people have already seen. And I think that's honestly gonna be the death of their servers because
Yeah.
not only do we have more tools, but we have more ways to use them, which means that we have free range content. We can do whatever we want.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, people want stuff that's unique, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're striving for. With the new game modes that no one's seen before, and maybe a couple classics, but we really want just like a totally new experience, whether it be with the MMO and the games themselves and the ranking and the the matchmaking and tournaments and in-game currency and things like that is just going to be something we want to like kind of set a
Right.
standard for.
Oh, we also want to say that there will be absolutely no pay to win whatsoever.
Oh
That's really
yeah.
great to hear, yeah.
Something to be we're going to be totally transparent about is our monetization, which is
Mm.
going to be pretty basic. It's all going to be cosmetic. We don't know exactly how we're going to execute that right now because we need to focus on the base first. But we want to make sure there's like not going to be any edge. Like if you get beta access to a game mode or something because you're MVP or something like that, your stats will get reset from that whenever it actually comes out to the public. Like with the MMO, beta access for whether it be expansions, which will be free. We're just calling them expansions. They're more like
Hmm.
content updates.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, if you progress high within that beta period within the MMO, you will get reset, so you don't have a edge over any other player because there will be an aspect of PvP there, and we don't want anyone to have an edge. Like we want you, if you've worked hard to get to a high rank and get a decent stats, you earned it. You didn't get boosters for it. You didn't get aided by monetary anything. Pretty much where the money's going to be spent on the server is cosmetics, whether it be a pass or something like that. It's completely cosmetic. We want no pay to win at all.
Yeah, that's really great to hear. How do
Yeah.
you plan to transition the YouTube channel into the like when the server releases, how are you gonna change the YouTube channel to fit that?
So we're actually going to start, like the YouTube channel is going to cover a pretty broad range of different content.
Hmm.
Um, and to get the audience adjust to that so it's not as jarring when like we just start dropping gameplay trailers and things like that.
Yeah.
We are going to kind of experiment with those things within the down period we are in right now with Hytale information. Things like gameplay, because we are going to have a live streaming series playing the game as well as recordings and stuff like that, so the audience can get to know me and Scarecrow better.
Hmm.
Um, we're going to be kind of covering as many bases as we can and trying our best not to overwhelm with the amount of stuff we're going to upload. Like we're not going to upload 5 videos a day
Yeah, yeah.
that are all like you know we're playing Hytale. We're going to play Hytale obviously for the channel, but we're going to approach it in a way that's a bit different from just your normal Let's Play, as well as like that way people get a little more comfortable with a variety of things. Because right now we're just like commentaries with news and speculation where we don't have gameplay, so we're going to kind of ease it in a little bit. Especially right now is a perfect opportunity because, like I said, we're kind of in
Yeah.
a slower period, and
Less
we'll
blog
probably
posts. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. We'll probably approach it with a similar way with different content. So, we'll release a game trailer, and if it gets received well, then we will release more as time goes on with more server reveals and things
Yeah.
like that. We're just going to kind of ease into it.
When do you predict the release date of Hytale will be?
Honestly, I thought it was going to be released either like this month or next month,
Hmm.
but with the recent blog post, I think it's probably going to be towards July-ish, maybe a little after. I'm not sure because they still don't have even like a window of time they want to tell us yet.
Yeah.
So that means there's still like a lot of work to be done. From what I understand, I mean, I'm not a developer, but I mean, just from what they've said, personally, I'm not going to expect it outright in a month anymore because I want to,
Mhm.
like give them as much time as they need to do whatever they need to do. I mean, it's all
Yes,
for
just
a good
polish.
reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. I hope it's this year. A lot of sites have been like for example, like MC Pro Hosting said like mid 2019 for their hosting.
Right.
So
I saw that. Yeah.
mid 2019 I hope for, but if it's late 2019, I mean, I'll still get the game and enjoy it and we'll still make the
Yeah.
server
Yeah.
happen. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Definitely. All right. Is there anything else you guys would like to add?
Scarecrow, is there anything you haven't talked too much if you want to have the
Not
mic for a
really.
little bit?
We kind of covered it all. I mean,
Yeah.
Right.
it's just going to be, we strive to be different. We don't want to be
Yeah.
like someone, and we don't want to have the same content as someone. So we're going to have to take measures in order to not be similar to other people. But I think it's going to be a good different if we play our cards right.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of passion behind the projects we do. That's what I mean. Like where it's going to take a while because there's going to be a lot of redoing. I have a feeling like we're going to have a base build of something, and we're going to think like, oh, it could be better, and then we're just going to start again. That has already happened with other projects. I would not be surprised. I mean, it's definitely going to happen with the server, but I don't know. There's definitely going to be, we want a level of, like, we want a standard that's higher than the average that like, what we expect to see. I mean, obviously there's no Hytale servers around right now, so,
Yeah.
we can't really see the standard, but we want to set a new one. Like, we don't want to have just a bunch of mini games and then, like, no staff online. Like, there's a lot of Minecraft servers that are like that with just, like,
Yeah.
maybe 50 people online that there's like the base, there's like survival, some creative, maybe some Sky Wars and Bed Wars, and that's about it. We don't want that. We want to be totally new. Like we want to be something that like sets a standard. Like we want to be a defining server for like gameplay in the Hytale scene for sure. That's what we like
Right.
strive for. So
Hmm. How do you plan to find players in the game? The in-game server browser and just hope it's popular, or any plan?
we're gonna try to build our like what we're doing right now is we're definitely gonna try to put our audience in our server.
Hmm.
We have some connections that are definitely going to help us out, but like, yeah, we're not exactly. We don't have like advertising. Like, it's not like we have a huge budget to pour into making ads on YouTube or anything
Yeah.
like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to try like with like recently our audience has been growing a like pretty good. Like it's been really awesome, and hopefully they stick around. And by the time the server is ready for some kind of launch, we can like get our audience to play on the server. And if they really enjoy it, they'll tell their friends that it's a really good experience, and it'll just grow from there.
Hmm.
That's what we're hoping for. I mean, anything could change. I mean, if we do like have an explosion by that time, then most of our um, players will definitely be audience. And if like our names are known in the community, then maybe that way. I don't know. That's something we're probably going to think more about once we approach advertising or something like that. Like, because right now, I mean, the game's not even out, but
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's going to be a while before we actually have everything prepped for reveal. And at that point, we'll start debating on whether we want some kind of advertising, or if we simply just release trailers on our channel and hopefully our audience will play, something like that.
Hmm.
It's definitely still up in the air.
All right. Well, it's great to hear you guys are ambitious about the server. It's awesome what you guys are doing. But that concludes our interview for today. Thank you for joining us on our first server spotlight.
Yeah,
Thanks
thank you
for
for
having
having
Of
us.
us.
course. Thank you for watching the first episode of HyCast. Make sure to subscribe and join our community Discord to stay up to date when we upload a brand new video. Links in the description below.